Hello, chat. You can hear me so far, and I'm going to bring up Christian.
Bring up
Christian.
Christian a croissant.
All right. Hopefully this works. Let's see what happens.
Okay, let's see what's going on.
Don't say what it
Is
is.
this going? No,
Yeah,
I won't.
because it's just a video game.
It's a
All
video
right,
game,
so
okay?
Just which one of these things would do? You know what? I'll just add I'm just gonna add a new one. Say Capturino, and then see Aver.
This is a smooth operation we're running here, chat.
You know what?
Don't get it twisted.
Don't get it twisted.
I told you what's going to be Street Fighter 6.
Don't worry about what the video game is, though. Actually, I don't know if I... Actually, now that I think about it, I'm pretty sure I can't stream this video game. This isn't Twitch, though, so... Alright, cool, it works.
Yeah, they don't... Nobody cares.
No one cares
on YouTube.
There's just straight up genitalia in this game. I saw it was verified. I'm like, really, huh? Alright, and it's like the full verified. I'm like, so someone at the company looked at this game and was like, yeah, that works. That works real well. All right, let's see. Oh no, that's the wrong button. Okay, hello everybody. We're getting started.
Hello.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm scared.
I just fixed the problem. I fixed the problem with capturing stuff, so it was like I'm very excited. It was just a bad HDMI cable, I think. So I put in a better HDMI cable and we're good to go. So I'll be able to capture that stuff immediately.
HDMI cables are a problem.
Yes, yeah. HDMI cables are kind of the devil. They suck. All right, I'm gonna plug this in and accidentally go to a giant dong in the middle of the podcast.
Yeah. Don't get us banned out of YouTube.
Don't. Yeah, somehow we'll get banned from YouTube.
Yeah, it's weird. You know how it is.
Yeah, Next Level Games. They're doing the soccer game. Sorry, what was that, Christian?
Did I told you there was going to be Street Fighter, that dumb countdown?
Yeah. I mean, that's what I heard too. I heard that as well. I was it's like, yeah. I mean, and also the timing of it seemed kind of obvious. Like in hindsight,
I even tweeted like, we're gonna get something. I wanted to see like a trailer, but it's like, no, they're just gonna show a teaser. They're gonna do a trailer for like E3, and then a demo for Evo on August for sure, like 100%.
You think it's gonna look better? You think it's gonna like have a style to it, or is it just gonna be?
It's gonna be the same style, but it's gonna be the RE engine.
Is it gonna be RE engine? Because I thought they said it was gonna be Unreal. I haven't been paying too close attention.
It's gonna be RE though.
You know what though? They call it the RE engine. They should just always say the real name of it, which is the Reach for the Sky engine. Or is it Reach for the Sky or Reach for the Moon?
Reach for the Moon.
Reach for the Moon engine.
I think it's Reach for the Moon engine.
What a bunch of horse shit. Yeah, it is Reach for the Moon.
Which I don't understand when it's called RE.
Because it's Reach for the Moon
be REM
engine. Like it's all the R is.
It's a whole. Oh my god.
I know it's bullshit. It's obviously Resident Evil engine.
Yeah. Wide. Yes, that really looks hella wide.
Okay. We are waiting for Michael Minotti. He did fill out the last of the Nintendogs rundown that I'm looking at, so that's pretty good. Let's
That's a good tournament too. Before the.
Yeah, I heard people were like they were getting mad saying they wanted Daigo to lose so they could see the trailer sooner.
People is so mad. People is so mean to Daigo. He's 37 years old, dude. He's like,
yeah, you gotta be nice to old people like that. That's my opinion.
But like, he's been playing since like the 80s, and he's still like top tier competitor.
Yes.
Yeah.
We got a Mike Minotti.
My boy, the Beast. Speaking another Beast, my Minotti people.
Do you really want to taste it? We're live. People can hear you, so I mean, I can mute us real quick if you have something secret you want to tell me.
Did you want to offline at the end of the podcast record a thing about the thing tomorrow that we can talk about?
Yes, I do.
Right.
I do want to do that.
Also, do you think the guy writing a thing for us about that tomorrow is getting that in tonight?
Oh, I mean, we can ask him. Let's ask him.
Okay.
I'm gonna go
She say
to
no.
a message
say,
him.
"Fuck Mike."
Let's see.
Destiny 2. I don't know. I always have FOMO for Destiny every time like expansion came out. So I bought every expansion since it came out until this one. This one I'm like, I don't need it.
Yeah, I don't
What's
think
the
I can
time?
get
What's
that
the time on the
game.
embargo?
Let me look. I don't know. Am I allowed to say? Because I think everyone can. I'll write it
Mute
to you.
him. Mute.
Yeah.
If you gotta mute.
Yeah, we can
1
just
second,
mute.
Jeff.
I'll mute. Yeah, hang on. All right. Hello, I'm back, and that's back. And then there's Mike's camera. So let's get that going, and then we can.
Apparently, Fish and Love knew the knew the embargo, so it's not a secret. All right.
Yes,
Well, look, we got to be careful. We've been. I've gotten in trouble with embargoes before.
Let's actually, Mike. I feel like
Yes.
this is the time where you should just fix your camera on your end a little bit.
What, is it too high?
Well, I'm fine with it, but you look very small. But that's
I
You
do
look
small.
like a mini. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I can't move my
Mini
camera
Mike.
closer.
Oh wait, hang on. Oh, let me turn it off. There we go.
It might be too far
Not
back.
closer. I mean, like aim it down is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
did.
show us
Okay.
your.
Do you think you're even? Is it good enough?
A smidge down, maybe still. Do you really want to poop it?
That's
All right. That looks good to me. I am testing the music, which is not here,
Testing it.
not here.
Have you tuned it?
Hey, you guys hear me?
Do you guys hear that?
No.
No.
Okay, that's because I'm using the wrong
Always
thing.
retweeting.
Chat, Mike.
Disconnecting that stuff broke
Hey,
your.
You guys hear me?
Oh, there you go. We can hear it now.
All right.
Yep.
I think I'm ready to go.
Yep, ditto.
I'm ready
Have
to do
you
this
tweeted?
podcast. I've not tweeted. I'll do that right now. Thank
It's
you, Christian.
good.
Good.
That's
Have
sweet.
fun.
Let's
Copy video URL and then go.
They're live. Woof woof. Yeah, only 37 catch ends in Elden Ring actually, or not very many.
Wait,
Not
what?
nearly enough. Andy
no-
said he
Oh,
said
sorry,
there's
go
only
ahead.
37 catch shines in Elden Ring.
Yeah.
And I'm just confirming that, yeah.
There's no Badoofs, so I don't know how I feel about
There's
the
no
game.
Bidoof.
Okay, I am going to hit this button to play the music after I hit the start record button after I count down. All right, Mike, you ready?
Clear my throat one more
Yeah,
time.
do your thing.
Let me open up this green tea so I have that ready to go. Let me take a little sippy sip.
Do you really want to? Do you really
Napper
want
says,
to?
damn, Elden Ring is short? That can't possibly be true.
I mean, I have
What's
no
that based
opinion on the matter.
Yeah, I just something in my heart's told me that doesn't sound right. But oh, he's joking because of the cat shines.
Oh,
there
right.
we go. I thought he was joking based on somebody like leaking something. Lol, I am
All
smart. Okay.
5, 4, 3, 2.
Hey, you guys hear me? Start cheering now! Yeah, let's get this over with. Yeah.
Woof woof. Hi, I'm Mike Minotti, and I am a Nintendog.
Hi, I'm Jeff Grubb, and I am a Nintendog.
This week, Capcom has announced some thingamajigs.
And we are the last of the Nintendogs.
And we are the last of the Nintendogs. I was like, why are you screaming that? Oh, right. I was just so excited. Okay. I blew it, Jeff. But we're going.
Listen,
we're keeping it.
Yeah, we're keep. This is it. This is the show, everybody. It's Tuesday. it was President's Day yesterday,
I'm
which
gonna.
I feel like only we cared about, and so I like barely worked, but I had stuff to do.
Yeah, I
And then-
barely worked too.
Yeah,
And
I mean,
everyone's
whatever.
like, I still worked. I was like, well, I did it. There
I mean,
wasn't
I
even
did.
any real news anyway. This
No.
happened on Sunday for some, so whatever. I
And
didn't
then
care.
and then late last night there was some news. What was that late last night? Yeah.
But no, early this morning there's the PlayStation VR thingy. If that's what you're thinking of, that was this
I
morning.
was thinking about the Street Fighter thing. When did that happen?
No, Sunday. It's Sunday.
That was Sunday. Man, Monday is just
Completely
a
lost
blur
track
for me.
of time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like dropped my car off to go get it fixed, and I had to like walk like 3 miles back and forth in the dealership. But that was my day, and it was just a black hole.
Well, I already bolded woof woof in this doc because I forgot that a bunch, and now I had to bold, and we are the last of the Nintendogs. Yeah, chat, man. Look, I try. All right. Anyways, yes, this week Street Fighter 6, and we're gonna be talking about HD 2D games Nintendo games that we want to see get the HD 2D treatment.
Which we'll explain if for some reason you're unfamiliar with that. When we get to that segment, we'll
Yeah.
explain what that means.
Things look like Octopath.
Yeah, what makes it look like the pretty 2D? Yeah.
Yeah, game with lighting. Okay, Jeff, how are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. Like I said, it was a kind of black hole yesterday, but busy. Like there's still a lot of video games happening. I'm ready to give my mostly informed opinions on some games that are coming up. Got a big hardware review I got to do for later this week. I've been like figuring out problems that I've been having, that are not problems with the machine itself, but problems with me, like trying to get it to work with my equipment. Got that stuff sorted like right before the podcast. So after this, I'm like gonna go heads down, just work the rest of this week, trying to make a pretty good story, pretty good review, and a pretty good video for people who are looking forward to whatever I'm talking about. But yeah, it's like I'm just ready to kind of sit down this week and do some hard work.
Yeah, that sounds same for me. I got a story I need to get up today after this, and then there's some embargoes from other people I'm going to be looking at. There's another game that I'm playing that is pretty exciting, so fun stuff. We had really nice weather yesterday in Ohio. It was like spring for just one day, and today it's like the other half of spring. It's just raining all day, and then I think tomorrow it's going to get cold again. So
Yeah,
it was
so
just like a little taste.
Yeah,
of
we
it.
had 60 degrees, and then it's like the only reason this is happening is because like the high pressure system's moving from a low pressure system, and it's like the next day, right now it's 8 degrees. It's going to be negative tonight. So yeah, it was whiplash, but we knew it was coming, and I'm just like mostly like I'm fine. But taking the kids to school when it's that cold, I'm like, I don't want you to get hurt. You're little. You don't know that you're cold and it hurts. Like you don't even understand yet. Yeah.
Yeah, I keep thinking about this. It's weird to me how much the mood affects my weather as I get older. Like before, I never really cared. Why should I care? I spend most of my time inside.
Are you a witch?
Maybe I am just a witch.
Because you said your mood affects the weather, which would be horrifying.
Weather affects my mood. No, that would just make me the one person from Encanto, right?
That's right. Okay. Yes.
Yeah,
Which
Pepe.
basically a witch. Basically,
right?
They're basically all witches, right?
Yeah, I guess. I tell you what, if like the Spanish Inquisition got there, they would just be like, yeah, witches, kill them.
Yeah, witches all the way down. Yep.
Clearly witches. I mean, I tell you what, you never say that God gave them those powers. I don't
Jesus
think
would not have done this. You people aren't from Europe, which is what Jesus prefers. And then
we don't like this non-secular magic. This is no good.
I really like this horrible sequel to Encanto that we're writing here, where the Spanish show up and just ruin the day, basically.
It's like, this is against God's wishes. You must all die. Jeff, stop clowning around. We got to get down to it.
All right. What happened this week? Is there news or what?
Sunday night,
okay.
Capcom announced
Weird.
Street Fighter 6. Now, I could talk about this here because they didn't technically announce platforms. But so, Jeff, what platforms do you think Street Fighter 6 is coming out for?
I mean, some people are still convinced it's PlayStation exclusive. I'm a little bit less convinced of that now. But
I mean, wouldn't they have just said so?
I thought they would have just said so, right? When they were doing this, because then you nip that in the bud. Everyone understands. Like at this point now, everyone's getting excited and assuming they're going to get a chance to play it. And it would be weird if it's like, okay, now at a PlayStation State of Play, we're going to talk about it for that. They didn't say that. They said we're going to talk about it later this year. Also, things that Capcom have changed since Street Fighter V, like Sony helped pay for the development, like the publishing of Street Fighter V, and that was when Capcom wasn't quite as healthy as it is now. Now they have Monster Hunter and Resident Evil, and every Resident Evil game is like selling better than the previous one, and the Monster Hunter franchise is like forking in multiple directions, and each of those are massive hits. They have plenty of money right now, and they also know that like there is ample sort of desire to get a Street Fighter game that is going to live on as a service that they know that they could put out content for years. And that when you do something like that, it makes sense to put it in as many places as possible. So to me, I wouldn't be surprised if this like ends up on mobile phones, let alone, of course, like Switch and PlayStation and Xbox and all that.
I mean, Street Fighter 4 came out for 3DS.
Right.
You know, like 2D fighting games, even with 3D models, there's something that you can downscale relatively easily. Like, of course, it's not going to be the best way to play it, and there's going to be sacrifices. I bet the online play is going to be awful, but yeah, I'm still not. I still don't know if I really expect it to be on Switch, but it wouldn't be the most ridiculous thing in the world. But yeah, you're right. I mean, Street Fighter V kind of came out at the end of Capcom's last sort of down period. And then right after that was when you had like Resident Evil 7 and then Monster Hunter World really put that company on a big uptick again. Right. So, and this is like the RE engine Street Fighter game. So
the Reach for the Moon engine. Right.
Yeah. The Reach for the Moon engine. So they don't need to make a deal with Sony like they did before. And I don't know, maybe it's just a weird creature of habit thing and they did it anyway. And there are some people whose opinions I trust who still seem pretty adamant that no, this is still going to be a Sony thing.
I agree. And it's like, I'm just guessing. I don't know. But
it doesn't seem to make sense.
Yeah, beforehand I was like, yeah, I bet PlayStation paid that money. And now I'm like, well, if they would have, why? Like PlayStation would want their name stamped alongside this initial announcement. If they were the ones, if it was the exact same deal as what happened with Street Fighter V, Sony's name definitely would have come up here because they paid money. We're doing this,
right?
So maybe there's like some exclusive time DLC that's going to happen with PlayStation still, and in that case, okay, this makes a little bit more sense, but that means it's still going to come to other consoles and other platforms. You said it's using the Reach for the Moon engine, which is the RE engine. Did they confirm that? I was like, I'm not paying super close attention, and this is not my genre. I heard they were going to use Unreal, but that was from other people.
Just wrong there. Maybe I'm just.
I don't know. No, I think a lot of people are saying that, and so you might be right. I don't know. I legit don't know. I just thought they were using Unreal, but maybe that's just lingering memories from Unreal or from Street Fighter V, and I'm mixing things up there. I wouldn't be. I mean, the RE engine is very good, very scalable, works great on Switch, probably works great on mobile phones as well. Again, I'm just saying that, but they want to get Street Fighter everywhere. And it's very good on, it can look very good, and they could do a lot of stylish stuff with that. So I wouldn't be surprised if they use that. It makes a lot of sense.
Apparently, we don't know what engine it is, but there's a rumor it's the RE engine. So
yeah,
I guess we're not sure yet.
It makes a ton of sense. So I hope that's what they're doing.
Right. So the trailer itself was very minimal. It was just Ryu and what was that guy Luke? Like he's the last DLC character for Street Fighter V, and they basically like this is going to be an important character in the next game. And here he is. So not very exciting trailer. It's Ryu and the guy they said was going to be in Street Fighter 6, just kind of looking at each other.
Yeah, flexing their muscles, not even slapping meat.
No, I said I was hoping that there would be some kind of an art style, even though I know that probably wasn't going to happen. And I don't know if you call it an art style. Everything's very wide, right?
Yeah, everyone was doing the thing comparing him to what's his name, Ben from
Adam Driver.
Yeah. And I'm like
Jedi.
Adam Driver, Ben Kenobi or Ben Skywalker in the the Last
Kylo
Jedi.
Ken is what people usually call him, but yeah, you can call him Ben Skywalker. You weirdo.
Ben.
This is your favorite movie of all time. I thought. How do you not know his name?
Well, you mixed me up when you said Ben Driver, and now I'm like trying to think of all the names.
Did I say Ben Driver?
Yeah, I was trying to think of all the ways to untangle that. It was confusing me.
I said Adam Driver. I think you heard Ben Driver. I don't think that ever happened.
Let's go to the chat.
All right, chat. Did I ever say Ben Driver? Now I'm curious.
Oh man, you're gonna be so disappointed with yourself.
We'll see.
People are like, and I'm like, that bums me out because I know Adam Driver's like sort of self-conscious about that, and it's like, everyone's always like, everyone's like, oh yeah, when a person's wide, it looks like this, and I'm like, okay, can we please stop doing that? But also, yeah, they do look pretty wide in that video game. So I don't know. To me, I hope a lot of this stuff is almost like placeholder because that logo is weird at best. I mean, I think Chris Person said it best. He's like, it looks like a rural paintball shop. Like if you've found a paintball shop, like driving through Kansas, it would have that logo. Which I guess if people haven't seen, it's like an octagon. I think it's an octagon with or maybe an octagon with like a S and F inside of it, and they're kind of slanty, and it looks like it comes from Adobe stock Photoshop.
I mean, there is an Adobe stock Photoshop thing that looks almost exactly like it.
Because,
this one's a bit more slanted.
Yes.
And there's like a 6, like where like the app notification number would be.
Right.
Jeff, to be clear, you know how much Chet loves to not back me up. Even they are like, Mike, never send Ben Driver.
You totally
Adam
don't.
Driver. Jeff, they're all vindicating me. I'm sorry.
Okay,
You're wrong.
Okay, well, all right, fair enough. I'll listen. Either I'm
You're just
losing
a crazy
my mind.
person, it turns out.
I might actually be losing my mind, but I said Adam Driver right after he said Ben Driver. I thought so, but whatever. All right, fair enough. Oh, this is gonna bother me. It's gonna be bothering
wait for you to look back. Okay, well, once this is done, you can look back.
Yeah, I'm gonna look
and
back. We gotta hurry through the show so I can look. All right. I don't know.
And the logo's dumb. Everyone's yelling at them. Do you think they'll actually like change it because of that, or do you think they don't care?
I think they'll change it. I bet they change it because
Yeah,
it's kind of an
it's not
easy thing to
Nintendo.
do. It's an easy. Yeah, this is not Nintendo. It's an easy thing to change, and also like, who are you trying to make Street Fighter appeal to if it's not Street Fighter fans? Like, just make it look like a Street Fighter logo.
It seems like an easy win.
It's the kind of game where it's like, okay, yeah, listen, we aren't going to be doing 2D visuals anymore. We aren't going to. It's going to be modernized in a lot of ways visually. What can we do to like still make it feel like Street Fighter? Well, give it like that 90s aesthetic in this new 3D engine. I think that would be something they could probably pull off, and that would mean like a throwback logo and all that stuff. Kind of just embrace where Street Fighter came from, I think, a little bit more, and people would be pretty happy with that.
So yeah, we have to wait till this summer to learn more about Street Fighter 6, including its platforms. We won't have to wait as long though for the other game they announced, Capcom Fighting Collection. This is coming out for PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC on June 24th for $40. This is coming with all of the Darkstalkers games, which is like there's 5 of those, and a couple other more like obscure-ish 2D Capcom fighting games like Red Earth, Cyberbots, Super Gem Fighter Mini Mix, Super Puzzle Fighter 2 Turbo, and also a port of Hyper Street Fighter 2, which is a nice like HD version of classic Street Fighter 2. So this is pretty neat, Jeff. I would have been happy with just like a Darkstalkers compilation, but they're throwing in some other stuff in there, so that's pretty neat.
Yeah, I think is that Super Gem Fighter Mini Mix? Is that like Pocket Fighter? Is that what that is?
I think so. Yeah, it's like the puzzle. It's the puzzle game one. Apparently, Chris was saying this has like the rollback netcode that all the fighting game fans love these days too. So that'll be nice. I wonder, like, so there's 5 Darkstalkers game here. I played Darkstalkers along the PSP actually. Like that and Twisted Metal 2 are my favorite PSP games, oddly enough. So I wonder which one of these is most like that one. Like yeah. I don't know. Like I need the Darkstalkers fans to be like Vampire Hunter 2 has nothing on Vampire Savior 2, so I know which one I should be spending most of my time with. And then Red Earth, I barely even knew about. This is like monsters fighting, not like scary monsters like in Darkstalkers, more like, I don't know, fantasy monsters. And Cyberbots is great. That's the one with like all of the robots, which is fantastic.
Yeah, so and it's like all these games look so stylish, especially compared to things we get these days, like Street Fighter 6.
Capcom was so good at 2D fighting games from this. This is like the same era as like the Alpha series and kind of so like Street Fighter 3 is still my favorite Street Fighter game. So a lot of that is like that. Turbo Sean's reminding me, Hyper Street Fighter 2 is non-HD version. It's the version of Street Fighter 2 you can select what game's version of each character you want to play as. Thank you, Turbo Sean, for that correction there. I hope that this means we'll be getting like another collection like this where we'll get some of the like weird 3D games they made for like Dreamcast, like Power Stone 2, like
that'd be awesome.
Rival Schools, or where was the sequel to the 3D Rival Schools game that was on
Rumble Roses? That's not right.
Well, Rumble Roses is a different one, but yeah. But you know, there's so many Capcom fighting games that I still would like to see get ports, and this is knocking out a lot of those on the to-do list. So pretty neat to see, and that's coming out June 24th for $40. So we won't have to wait too long.
Yeah, it's great.
Announced yesterday, big surprise by Atlas, is Soul Hackers 2, a Shin Megami Tensei sort of spin-off series. The first one originally came out for the Sega Saturn. It had a port on the 3DS. But Jeff, this one is not coming to Switch. I think it's coming to like PlayStation 4 and PC. Maybe it's coming to Xbox even. But this one's not coming to Switch. So Shin Megami Tensei 5 only Switch. And then like in Persona games, no Switch. We can't do that. And now this one's getting us. It literally feels like a roulette. Yeah, how they decide these things. It's like they're still in like weird like early 2000s where like this game meets its exclusive, and this one needs its exclusive, and they didn't get the memo that we just release everything for everything, especially when it's kind of, like not super intensive JRPG franchises.
Yeah, and it's like I did like saw the meme where it's like a guy with his hand over his eyes throwing a dart, and the dartboard is like it's a big sliver for PS5, and it's a slightly smaller one for Switch, and a pretty big one for Steam, and then a really small one for Xbox. And it's like, yeah, that's about right. Like 1 out of every 20 of these games is going to come to Xbox, but everything else is like going to go, pretty mostly everywhere else. But none of them are going to hit all 4. It's just so weird.
It's bizarre. Oh, One Up versus CPU told me that it's Project Justice is that sequel to Rival Schools. I couldn't remember. Thank you, One Up. Apparently, Detective Pikachu 2 is actually still in active development, according to Creatures Inc. Jeff, do you want a Detective Pikachu 2?
My kid saw a picture of Detective Pikachu the other day, and she goes, "Oh, so cute." So I put on the movie. She was into it for a little bit. It lost her interest about halfway through, and she's pretty good about watching movies all the way through. But so I was like thinking, I'm like, should we go get Detective Pikachu 1 for it's for the 3DS, right? For the 3DS, and actually play through that. And I'm like, I was considering it, but I've never played it. I'm like, maybe she's starting to like show interest in Pokemon. Maybe that'd be a fun way that she could play alongside me or something like that. But I don't know. I'm not like clamoring for it, but I know some people are a big fan of the Detective Pikachu games.
Yeah, to be clear, I'm talking about the movie, Jeff.
They're talking about the movie.
Not? No, are they? They're not talking about the movie, are they?
I don't
my
think
gosh.
so.
Jeff, you just blew my mind. This whole time I read these headlines, I was like, why is Creatures Inc. talking about it? Wow, it is about a video game. Well, I'll tell you what, Jeff, you just blew my goddamn mind.
Yeah, I'm still thinking about Ben Driver, so anything I could do to do that would make me feel better.
I was about to go on this whole rant on how the first Detective Pikachu movie wasn't all that good and who cares, blah, blah,
you can
blah.
still do that.
I didn't play the game, so I have no opinion about this. I said, yeah, thank you, Pixie. Talk about the game. They sure are. I'll tell you what. Look, it's confusing. Leave me alone. Let's move on. Crunchyroll is now available on Nintendo Switch. This should make all of our anime-loving delinquent fans happy, Jeff.
I'm sorry, my kid is at the fence. She found some medicine which she can't open, but she's like pretending to be sick because she really wants some medicine. I'm like, you're not sick, and so she goes and like that's a pretend cough, and is trying to convince me to come give her some medicine. This is drug-seeking behavior. This is a problem.
This is a fantastic episode.
It's we are
on rails.
We are on rails is the best way to describe this.
We both know what's going on.
We are saying things and understand the ramifications of what we're talking about as we say them. Like, Mike, they're talking about the game. Sorry, I wasn't listening for the whole rant after that.
No, new thing. Crunchyroll's on Switch, Jeff.
Yeah. Okay, isn't that Sony's Crunchyroll? Whoa. That's going.
Yeah, I guess they do.
They own all anime at this point. That's my assumption.
That's a metaverse now. Then that's a metaverse.
Yeah, right. That's babe, we got a metaverse, an anime metaverse. It's what the kids always wanted. I am not going to watch any video programming on my Nintendo Switch. I'm not.
Does anyone? This seems like an awful place to watch videos.
I think it's like maybe like a 12-year-old whose mom won't let him have a phone or something like that. Yeah, but even then, that seems rare.
No self-respecting parent would let their kid watch anime. Also,
right?
Right,
Exactly. It'd have to be like some parentless child, some orphan who somehow found a Switch somewhere.
Yeah, it's gonna grow up to rob banks and stuff. And
right. I mean, watching anime as a kid, it's gonna lead to some bad things.
Yeah, absolutely. You're gonna become a fan of this podcast, for example.
Yes. Right. Exactly.
Jeff, we finally do have confirmation seemingly that Next Level Games is developing the new Mario Strikers for Switch. This is via a rating over on the Australian classification board. And we all assume so, but it's nice to know. Do you think Nintendo should have slapped that Next Level Games logo more over that early marketing for this game? Or is now that we know that games are made by Nintendo, not so much it's small studios, right? And they kind of want that perception to stay that way.
I don't necessarily like that so much. And I think, Nintendo, you paid money for this studio. Why not, hype up the fact that the studio that made the last good versions of these games and and most recently made Luigi's Mansion 3 and did an excellent job with that, and made a game that was like one of the best looking games on the Switch, is now making this. It feels like something they should try to hype up and give credit where it's due for the team that actually made it. So it bothers me a little bit, but also we did know, we knew, because like who else was going to be making a soccer game, other than the studio that's done it before.
Right, exactly. All right, that's it for the news. We're going to get into some questions here. We began some super chats. If you
All right, hang on. I think
send...
she really got the medicine. I got to stop her.
No, go, kid, quick! This is your chance to reach euphoria. Get to Nirvana before Mean Dad stops you. Pills are good. She really got the pills. I need to stop her. How did she get the pills, Jeff? Where are you keeping your pills? Move them further away from the kids, you psychopath. I was trying to play Lord of the Rings song, but somebody yelled at me because that's the only song I play, apparently. Yep. I tried there. Just been gone for a while. I'm worried that this kid like really got into the drugs. Just driving her to the ER right now. They're getting the pump ready. Can you play Rush E on piano? What's Rush E? What's Rush E? Yeah, I know I play the Shire theme. Look, it's a go-to, right? The Shire theme sounds good all the time. I like that. Play Freebird. I'll play Freebird, all right. Play Megalovania. You guys always ask for the wrong Undertale song. I don't know Megalovania. I know Ascor, the better boss theme from Undertale. Oh, that's it.
Oh, beautiful.
Oh, I can't believe you're here, Christian. You're just waiting in the wings. Wait for that moment for Jeff to leave, to jump back in here and steal the spotlight from my flute playing time that I crave so much.
True.
True.
So true. Yeah.
The best Undertale song is Undertale. Yeah, is it though? Is it Fish and Love?
Undertale is a little bit too much. I mean, fans of Undertale a little bit too much.
Play Linkin Park. Man, I do like Linkin Park actually. Yeah. But I don't know if they have music that translates really well. I could sing some Linkin Park for you.
Starts with one thing.
And I don't know why. It doesn't even matter how hard I try. Keep that in mind. I designed this rhyme to explain in due time. All I know is that time is a valuable thing. Watch it fly by as the pendulum swings. Watch it count down to the end of the day as the clock takes life away. It's so unreal. You didn't look out below. Watch the time go right out the window. Try to hold on. You didn't even know. Wasted it all just to watch you go. It's on the ghost.
You got it.
All right, fair enough, Fish and Love. You're right then. Undertale is the best Undertale song yet. Break out Terra's theme again. Yeah, I have to find that. I was playing tabs of that. Let's get those tabs again.
Damn, Chef is taking way too much time. This is
I'm concerned about what happened. I was joking that the kid got the pills. I think this kid actually put some pills in her mouth.
And, oh no. Oh no.
I don't know. I mean, Jeff's not back. I'll tell you that much. Maybe she just really freaked out that Mean Dad wouldn't let her eat the fun pills because she's so sick and she needs them. That must be the issue. I don't know. It's weird. Oh, that's right. It wasn't this channel. I'm on the wrong channel.
Okay.
Here we go. Terrace theme. Tin whistle. There it is. All right, here you go. Whoop, it's already bad. Let's try that again.
I personally think that Capcom is very different now from when Street Fighter V came out, like 2016, early 2016. Capcom was like not in its best shape, let's say. This was right before Resident Evil 7 and all the good stuff they put out. So, like Sony on the Street Fighter 5, Sony straight up helped with like development. With like they funded some development. We got Turboshan too. What do you think, Turboshan? That was Street Fighter 6.
Who is here? Who is this? It is
Turboshan.
Turboshan.
How is Jeff
knows?
still not back yet?
He's just
Oh,
come
there we
back.
go.
I'm back.
Okay, what happened?
There he is.
Okay, so first of all, child safety lids are bullshit. I think it's the first thing we have to recognize.
To be clear, your pills should still not be within reach of your children.
They're not. It's her cough medicine, and it's like,
Okay,
and it's like yeah. So it's not like she's getting.
In my mind,
speed.
she got hold of like Vicodin.
Yeah, no, it's like barely potent at all cough medicine, but somehow she like got it open and like got the little straw, the little dropper thing, and like filled it up and was just holding it and staring at me like, I'm gonna take it. I'm like, what are you doing? No. So I went and got that, and then also she pooped her pants, so I had to change her diaper. So
Damn.
Okay, continue.
Sounds like let's all have kids. It sounds great.
this is this is nonstop. This is what it's always like. This is every minute of my house.
Sounds fantastic. Well,
Okay.
all right. We're transitioning to questions now. If you guys have questions, I know we got some super chats, and you can send more of those. And Jeff Grubb will read them personally. He'll do it with enthusiasm and love in his heart. Also, if you're watching, be sure to hit that thumbs up button. We always appreciate that.
Yeah, hit that
Let's
thumbs up button,
review
everybody.
These community questions. Benji Pop says, this past week, I performed surgery on my Switch for the first time. Replaced my thumbsticks that had drift. It was relatively easy, fast, and cheap. Have you guys ever repaired / modded your consoles or any kind of technology? I don't think, I'm not very hardware savvy. I don't think I've done this. I'm trying to think. I feel like maybe my brother may have done something for me at some point, but I can't remember the specifics. Jeff, this seems like something you would do.
Yes, I did do this. The fan in my original Switch stopped working, so I had to like kind of take it all the way apart, get down to the fan, unhook the fan, and I think I replaced that, and in the process, I damaged something else, which just seems exactly right. It seems like exactly. I should have known that was going to happen. I think the connector between the SD card reader and the system, I think I broke that, and then I definitely, when I went in to try to fix that, I think I also broke the card slot. So the game card slot. So I just completely botched that. I'm the guy who broke my phone because I jammed a screwdriver into the lightning port recently. So I could clearly not be trusted to touch anything. Yeah, I'm like, man, I felt pretty stupid, but it's like also like this stuff is a little bit more complicated than like the YouTube videos I'm watching lead on. Sure. And also,
yeah,
like,
I know those videos are always like, all right, real sippy. First take off these 18 screws that none of your screwdrivers can use because they're special.
Well, and it's like I was using I had the right screwdrivers, and then like the next step, it's like you gotta have like this specific little pry tool that is like the right kind of plastic, so it's strong enough to get it out, but not strong enough that it's going to break anything. And it's like, I should have just waited until I had the right stuff. But whatever. I was a little bit sort of scared off from trying stuff after that experience. But I do kind of want to, like, I have like a couple of those old Switches now sitting around. I'm like, I want to do something with them. So I've considered maybe trying to get the repair parts and going in there one more time and seeing if I could fix them up. And if that doesn't work, then there's a repair place down the street. I would just take him to that. But yeah, that's my history with breaking things.
Dr. Suss says, I really want to play Game Boy Advance games, but Nintendo refuses to sell them to me, and the best games cost a boatload in retro game shops. My question is, who does Nintendo hate more, me or my money? Well, they love your money. I don't know how they feel about you personally. Probably not that strongly. They do like your money, though. I just think they probably imagine that there are better ways to get your money, or they're just really dumb, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think that Nintendo believes that they can always find new ways to bring these things back, and there's no rush because you'll pay them again whenever they figure out a time to get around to do it. So, yeah.
Glossian says, hey guys, with the 3DS and Wii U eShops closing, what games on those systems would you like to revisit or try that you missed out on during that gen? Any? Gosh, I'm trying to think. Jack keeps screaming about Rusty Baseball something, but I still don't think I care. Maybe Dylan's Rolling West. Like, those games are like, did those ever get cartridge releases? So those would be lost to the ether. So that's kind of interesting. I think there's like a bunch of weird Kirby like digital games. There was like another Mario versus Donkey Kong something for Wii U, right? That I think was digital only. So it is strange, like the stuff that's just not going to be available. And some of it's like low key enough that maybe we will just never see this stuff again. I don't know.
I mean, these are ones I really like. Is Pushmo. Pushmo I love. So people should check that out if they haven't. Nintendo Pocket Football Club is a Japanese only one that I've always heard good things about, and I would like to do. Harmo Night. Harmo Night is from
Harmo Night.
Yeah, from Game Freak.
Game Freak.
I never played that. People seem to love it, so I don't think it ever got a physical release.
Was Tempo the Badass Elephant another
yeah, that's
like digital thing from
sounds
Game
right.
Freak?
Yeah,
I never played that, so maybe someday. All right, VG Incoming says, "Hey Nintendogs, you're consulted to make a unique amiibo for a game of your choice, real or not. What game do you choose? What character? What does the amiibo do? Bonus points if you can think of an amiibo that isn't in the form of a figurine, plushie, card, wristband, or cereal box, as we've had those already. Oh, so not even a figurine, just some weird amiibo thing. Gosh." I don't know, Jeff. I mean, let's say it's figurine because I'm not that creative. I don't know if I'm going to earn his.
I was going to say Karnov, but now I'll just say Karnov's ladder. The ladder he uses in Karnov games. There you go.
There you go. That's pretty good. I like your Karnov's ladder thing. I like that.
Yeah, that's my answer. That's what I got. Although I would prefer just to have Karnov, if I'm being real.
Of course. Well, you're not an idiot.
Yeah. Christian says don't say dildo, so don't say that.
Yeah. This would be more of a sincere answer than he was hoping for, but I would really like a Proto Man amiibo just because I like my Mega Man one so much, and I like Proto Man too.
There you go.
Octo says, hey, Radu/Octo here. So was the 3D and DS-ness of the 3DS worth it? Don't get me wrong, I loved every Nintendo handheld, but with the recent news that the shop's going away, I got to thinking most of the 3DS games that I love would be fine playing without the 3D or dual screens. The DS, I feel, had way more games that utilized the DS concept, like Canvas Curse, Phantom Hourglass, games where you hold the DS like a book, like Hotel Dusk and Ninja Gaiden. There are amazing games on 3DS that sometimes use the 3D in cool ways, Link Between Worlds, but thinking back, 3DS games are so hard to port that it hardly seems like it was worth it. So what are your thoughts? Hindsight's 2020, of course, but do you feel like the 3D and DS-ness of the 3DS was worth it? I always defended the 3D-ness of the 3DS. I liked it a lot. The DS-ness was worth it, just if nothing else, and because you had backwards compatibility with the DS, which was nice. Even though he is right, like the games weren't using that aspect of it as much. It was a lot more. The bottom screen is a map. The bottom screen is your inventory kind of things, which like was fine and nice enough. But absolutely, it wasn't. There wasn't anything as crazy inventive as some of that stuff on the DS was. But some of that stuff was also played out, I suppose, which is another reason maybe you wouldn't need it. I like the 3DS a lot. I like it fine the way it is, even like when like they kind of started going away from the 3D stuff even towards the end. I still think that the games that did use it well, like Link Between Worlds, like Super Mario 3D Land, even like games where it wasn't that necessary, but like like Fire Emblem Awakening, I still liked turning it on every now and then. It was still kind of neat.
Yeah, I think I'm a bigger fan of the 3D than the DS-ness now, especially because I still like the 3D. I always did like the 3D. The DS-ness is now sort of this albatross, right? That where it's like, man, I would love for many of these games to be ported forward. Like, the Castlevania games that were on DS, like, okay, that'd be great to get those on the Switch. Well, it's like, okay, well, even if they figure out the dual screen stuff, like some of those games had touch input and you had to like draw stuff on the screen to do certain puzzles and stuff like that. It's like, oh, damn it. That's right. And I kind of wish that we didn't have to deal with those little quirks to keep those games, coming out and finding new ways to re-release them and stuff like that. But I don't know. That was a small price to pay to have, like Mike said, a pretty long period of time where we had DS and then we had this thing that also supported DS games. And so we got to enjoy those for a good long period of time. And then also you can't beat Outrun 3D. Like, go play that. Yeah. That is one of those games where before the eShop closes, go get Outrun 3D and Streets of Rage 2 3D. All those M2 games that they turned into 3D versions. Those are fantastic. So go get all those before the shop closes.
Gosh, I do need to do that. Do you think Nintendo will ever just make like a backwards compatibility console, like something
Yeah,
that
I
like
would
plugs
hope
your
so.
TV, but like the controller has a screen, so you can play DS, 3DS, and like Wii U games even, and it'll even like come with a Wii remote, so all those things can work too. Like maybe
Yeah.
they just need to make something straight up thinking like this will be able to play every Nintendo game ever.
So you're saying Nintendo's gonna acquire the Intellivision Amico and
Yes, exactly.
rebrand it?
I'll still get it for cheap. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, that's true. I was of the opinion, I think I said this a few episodes ago, that I think the next retro console we might get from Nintendo might just be like a dongle you plug into your TV and then a Wiimote controller that goes along with it, or two. And I think what you described there is like, yeah, along the same lines. Just a bunch of ways to play these games that are sort of locked to these old consoles. That'd be great.
Casual says, Dear Nintendogs, the backwash discussion from last episode made me think of something. In Sweden, we have a word for the liquid that emerges when you fill a gas with water after milk has been in it. Why do you have a word for that? Does that happen often? Ew. We call it spaakvatten, which translates into ghost water. Do you have a similar word for it in the US? No, we do not. We proudly have absolutely no word for that.
Spockvatten these nuts is actually the right word.
These nuts, yeah, man. Ugh, yeah. I'm not a big milk. It's shocking. Look at me. I'm not a big milk fan, anyways. But like, I don't know. Something about that is gross.
Yeah, I honestly live most of my life trying to avoid the situation in which apparently Swedes find themselves often, where they have to deal with Spockvatten. The idea of that film.
Glass. Wash out the glass.
I will wash out a glass 3 times because that film, which I guess is the word we would go to, the filminess. I want to avoid that like the plague. It is disgusting to me, and I hate it.
In Sweden, surrounded by like the ocean or something, there's plenty of water. Clean your glasses.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. Just go and get some extra snow and melt it in the cup. And yeah.
Screaming Madden says, "Hey there, you beef and cheddar loving Nintendogs.
Wow.
Thinking about how the eShop is shutting down in 2023. Surprisingly, we're getting a lot of questions about this, Jeff.
Yeah.
I think the biggest bummer for me is that there seemingly won't be a legal way to purchase the Wario Land series of games. Those were some amazing platformers, and I have a soft spot for 3 and 4 in particular. You think there's any remote chance that Nintendo release some kind of Wario Land collection? Or is that too niche? And the best we can hope for are those games being playable on Game Boy and or Game Boy Advance Nintendo online service. That's probably the best you can hope for. But it's like Nintendo is always such a wild card. Like, who knows? Like, we thought that Advance Wars was dead, and surprised there's a new Advance Wars game. The weirdest things happen with them sometimes. So maybe a Wario Land collection will happen. I think it's more likely they're going to be virtual consoling that stuff, which is too bad because I really want to play Shake It, the Wii game, and like that's not going to come to Switch.
I was recently using an emulator on a handheld computer to play Wario Land for the Virtual Boy. And I'm like, they should release that on the Switch, just straight up. I mean,
they didn't release that on the 3DS. How did that not happen?
I know,
will never understand that.
Yeah, so many Virtual Boy games should have come out to the 3DS.
All of them should have. There weren't that many.
Yeah, there's like 13, right? Yeah. Teleraboxer. Get some Teleraboxer up in that. That was a missed opportunity. But yeah, they should just release those on the Switch now. That'd be fun.
So I beat Wario Land 3 recently, and I found a cartridge of Wario Land 4 at the store when I was there last time. So that's on the to-do list now. I'm very excited.
It's a good-looking game.
Yes. Jump Matt, is there any reason other than FOMO to buy an Odin if you already have a Steam Deck pre-ordered? Odin is like that new cool portable computer thing that's really good for emulation, supposedly like really good for GameCube. Jeff, this is a question I need answered too.
I know, me too, honestly.
I got a Steam Deck coming, and I think he's right. Like there really is no reason but FOMO, huh?
I would say that okay. It's going to be tough. I'll be able to talk about it more, but keep in mind that, these are probably issues that will be solved quickly once the community is on top of the Steam Deck. But going through the hassles of working in a Linux environment, especially a Linux environment that's distributed by Steam, by Valve, and works in a specific way, can make like trying to get certain emulators a little bit of a headache. And that means, am I going to install Windows? Well, people say like, I'll just install Windows on my Steam Deck. That's going to be like, you could do it. But once you start using an operating system, and this is the thing with the Switch, and I'll talk about it in terms of the Switch, so it's something I could talk about. When you pick up a Switch and it's made for playing games, like imagine installing Windows on the Switch. Would that really improve your experience with that? Not really. Not even if like the games ran just as well. You want something like when you pick it up, you like the OS is just made to get you into a game as soon as possible. And so it's like, and this might be how I'm justifying getting the Odin myself. It's like, well, then that thing is like dedicated to all those emulators, and I don't have to just rely on RetroArch inside of Steam to work through Proton and all these different layers. But I would also say just wait and see. The Odin will be available. You'll be able to get the Odin probably now through the next couple of months. If you have a Steam Deck coming, get that first, see how it fits into your life, and then reassess your need for an Odin at that point.
There you go. That's reasonable, I suppose. One Up versus CPU says the subject of Chrono Trigger remakes or re-releases has been coming up a lot lately. And while I can't be 100% sure why it's rarely re-released, I can take a guess. I think it might have something to do with Chrono Trigger being owned by 3 companies. Dragon Ball creator and Dragon Quest character designer Akira Toriyama did the character designs in his studio. Bird Studio / Shueisha, I think, owns all the artwork he created for the game. Dragon Quest creator Yuji Horii was one of the writers in his studio. Armor Project co-owns the story with Square Enix. All 3 companies would have to agree on who is developing it, how much everyone gets paid, etc. Shueisha is also notoriously protective of its characters and has shut down Twitter accounts for posting Dragon Ball GIFs. It is rumored to have shut down Dragon Ball FighterZ tournaments in the past. I've included a screenshot of the start screen for Chrono Trigger for PC where you can see the copyright stuff. That's pretty interesting that he actually has a say in that for like characters he designed for, an RPG so long ago. I mean, I guess does he have the same deal with Dragon Quest because he does the art for all of those games, or is this something different, special? I don't know. I mean, that can make remaking it a nightmare, but I don't think Chrono Trigger even really needs remaking. I think it just needs to be ported very well. Right. With basically like that DS version which had like some improvements here and there, a slightly better script. Just put that on Switch is really all we need, or even just getting the Super Nintendo version on Switch would be mostly fine. So, but maybe Square Enix is thinking it's not worth it unless we can do a big remake of it, and that's a pain legally for whatever reason.
Yeah, I mean it was included in the Super Nintendo Mini, right? So it's
it was not.
Oh, it was not. It really wasn't.
It was like probably the most notable when missing in terms of
then this must be a big part of it. Yeah, weird. I guess I just assumed.
No, I think Final Fantasy 3 was in there. And,
right, that's right.
Maybe like Breath of Fire, I forget, but yeah, not Chrono Trigger.
Oh, it's on mine. So
imagine that. Nintendo Bro says, "Woof woof, Nintendogs. When are we gonna get a Splatoon 2 community game night? I'm inclined to think it would be. I'm inclined to think it would be a great time. Yeah. I get it. Inclined. Yeah, nice. That might be fun. Part of me is like, let's just wait till Splatoon 3, but that's kind of a bit away. Maybe we should all reinstall
I'm actually itching to get some Splatoon 2 action going. We'll do it soon.
It'd be fun to play through. Maybe get that DLC single player campaign. That's supposed to be really good.
Mm-hmm.
Also,
yeah.
Velocity Prime 1 says, once when I was out hiking in the mountains, my friend noted how similar it was to Breath of the Wild. Have you or anyone you know compared a real-life activity to that of a video game, with the game being a base of understanding? Man, I feel like this must happen all the time.
Yeah. I mean, I go outside all the time and I see the mountains over, the Rockies are right over there. And almost every time I think to myself, you see those mountains? I could walk to those. I think I say that to myself every time I see them. So, yes, I definitely have that. Whether it's I'm thinking of Skyrim or Breath of the Wild or whatever, it doesn't really matter. It's like one of those games definitely pops in the mind.
Yeah, when I get my jury duty summons, I always like to think it's like Phoenix Wright and all my knowledge is going to help, but it turns out not quite so much as it be. Redfall says, "What's Jeff's favorite JRPG?" I mean, what if we discounted Mario ones? What if we threw that away from him? I don't even know if he would have anything left, actually.
I mean, I would probably say Golden Sun or maybe Final Fantasy VI, which was fun for what I played of it. But yeah, that's probably it. Beyond that, I don't have an answer because there's not many yet I like beyond those.
Beefhammer says, now that the absolutely flawless Kingdom Hearts franchises are right on Switch, but on a disappointing cloud version, what do you think will be the next game to get announced for cloud only and disappoint Switch owners? I'm betting Soul Hackers 2 does get announced for Switch, but only for cloud. Apparently those cloud versions of Kingdom Hearts are awful. They seem to be getting beat up a lot. So maybe Square Enix will learn a lesson here. Or, maybe they'll be like, oh, I guess the Switch audience just doesn't like Kingdom Hearts.
That's the more likely thing they'll take away from this, yeah.
Yeah, it'll be like that. And then just for fun, they'll mention how Crystal Dynamics or game didn't meet expectations. They'll throw that in.
Yeah, of course they will.
They have to be. I don't know. That was so bizarre. The releasing the older Kingdom Hearts games on the cloud. Again, I get it kind of for Kingdom Hearts 3.
Right, but all the rest was just a sign of like cost-cutting measures. It was just, this is cheap and easy.
Especially for fast-paced JRPGs where you need like fast reaction times. What a just stupid decision. New Feel Legit says, any idea what platform Street Fighter 6 will be releasing on? Maybe a Switch port at some point if it isn't there at launch. Jeff, we talked about this a little bit.
Yeah, I'll say yeah. I think we probably will get even a Switch version. I know it seems like a long shot, but why not? We'll see.
Maybe not right away, huh?
Probably not right away. Correct.
Lower Legend says, now that we have seen Square Enix bring the Satellaview content over to Chrono Cross, is there any chance of Nintendo ever bring the Satellaview Zelda games over in some form? That's interesting, huh? So, like, there's like a remake of Zelda 1 that was released on the Satellaview, and then there was like a kind of like second quest for Link to the Past that came out on Satellaview. So those could be pretty interesting, Jeff, and there aren't very many official Zelda-y things that haven't come out on the West before. So someday those have to happen. I don't know about anytime soon, though.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like seems like the kind of thing they'll pull out of their pocket one day, but who knows when.
Jedi Moss 4 says, insider leaks are a risky business, but Nintendo insider leaks are the riskiest business of all. Which Nintendo leakers, if any, can we trust? Everybody seems like Emily Rogers, right, Jeff?
Emily Rogers is great. I think a lot of stuff that you hear from other people usually actually stems from her. I can't remember. I'm not gonna be able to remember his name. But the one that says that the Donkey Kong game is coming from the Mario team has been pretty close to spot on for the most part. So
I still don't believe that specific rumor, though.
That's fine. I wouldn't be like the thing he said about Fire Emblem was like, we're gonna get a Fire Emblem game and it's not gonna be a remake, and then we got a Fire Emblem game and it was a Warriors game. So it's like clearly like some noise does get into the signal there. So maybe it'll be a Donkey Kong involved Mario game there is what we're actually getting. But whatever. Emily Rogers is the one I trust.
I mean, if you made a Mario Odyssey sequel and which had Donk City in it, but without any actual Donkey Kong in there, you could do like remember how Yoshi was kind of the hook for Mario Galaxy 2? You can kind of do a Mario Odyssey 2 with Donkey Kong as a hook of some sort.
I agree.
Bench JC says, with Square Enix so disappointed lately, what do you think the next game they will be disappointed in is? And he guessed Forspoken. Well, they usually are only disappointed in their Western developed games, right? Those are the ones that disappoint them all the time. So I don't know. Gosh, like what's next? Maybe they'll somehow be disappointed in Perfect Dark.
Yeah. We are disappointed with the performance of Perfect Dark, and Microsoft, like, we have 20 million people playing this game. What are you talking about?
We expected at least 30. Yeah. Sorry. Just saying.
Listen, that game did have disappointing sales. I've been reporting that since December.
Yeah, we knew it would.
But it's also, like, their expectations always seem to go this way.
But they even said that they even kind of admitted that it's because of the Avengers, and that also it has picked up a bit. Like, it has better legs than like other games that come out that slow.
Yeah, and that's all word of mouth.
Right.
That's word of mouth.
Like normally I'm like, oh yeah, their expectations are too out of hand. I think we all weren't surprised that Guardians of the Galaxy came below expectations because their marketing wasn't very good for it, and also everybody assumed it was like the Avengers 2, and it was better than that. Okay, Jeff, that's it for the community questions. Why do you want to do the super chats that aren't related to the topic? Do you want to just do the topic? What do you want to do here?
I'll do the super chats that aren't related to the topic. So let's start here with Afro Ahmed. If Square is doing something with Chrono Trigger, do you think the project is with Team Asano, just the Octopath Triangle, Live or Live Alive, or RPG Factory Oninaka? I don't know.
That's interesting. Well, apparently Asabo is working on other HD 2D games aside from Live Alive and Triangle Strategy. Now, one of those might just be Octopath Traveler 2. But, like, you know, they're probably going to do this to more classic Square Enix games that apparently aren't Final Fantasy games. So, you know, that does leave Chrono Trigger out there as a strong possibility. But again, maybe the rights for it are complicated. I don't know. Like, why not just have them make a new Chrono game is my question. Like, right? Like, why not? Although, maybe like Octopath Traveler just isn't good enough to be like, okay, you guys can make the new Chrono game. I don't know.
From Mac Roberts, been playing Rusty's Real Deal Baseball on 3DS after Jeff gushed about it, and it's incredible. So sad the core of the game, the haggling and the story will be unplayable in a year. Yeah, I talked about it last week, but it's like it's a game that you can download for free, and you could try the mini games, and then to unlock all of the mini games, you have to have a conversation with Rusty about buying them. But if you like talk to him and learn about his life and his family, and you like ingratiate yourself to him, he'll lower the price, which is again an incredible mental trick where it's like, oh man, I like worked to get a good deal on this. Now I have to buy it. It's kind of like this. It's like they were always going to be willing to sell it to you for that lower price. They just started at a higher price and then tricked you into thinking that you're getting a good deal on it by talking to a AI dog in a video game. But
yeah, where's the Rusty amiibo?
Yeah, man, bring back Rusty. Let's see, from Space Dovahkiin, Ryan Reynolds Pikachu was GOAT. I believe that was a GOAT, or it's a weird.
Yeah, we're talking about Detective Pikachu. Yeah, he did a good job. He's fine.
I put it on. My wife's like, is that Ryan Reynolds? And she was not having it. Although she was just upset that Pikachu was talking at all, and I had to explain that Detective Pikachu. It's a whole thing. I get it, but yeah. From Strange Zones VR. Great show. The thing just refreshed on me. Great show. Love the pan flute. Check out Strange Zones on Apple Store. Love you.
Well, self-promotion, but we'll allow it. You paid money.
Give us money. Yeah. From Zach Burons. Yo, Nintendogs. If Breath of the Wild 2 is really coming this year, when should we expect Nintendo to start talking about it? My bet is we do not get it this year. Yeah, if we don't hear about it at E3, and we will, because they'll just tell us it's coming in next year, if that's the case. Yeah, I don't. At this point, I'm like, I'd be very surprised if it came out this year. But if it does, we will hear about it at E3. All right. From Uriel Delgado. Oh, no, this is an answer to the question. And let me just check this next one, see if it's or not, and then we could be good. Iron Mike says, how come Square Enix only seems to report when the Western devs don't meet expectations?
I mean, I'm sure they do when they do meet expectations, but people maybe talk about it and it's buried in a financial report. But yeah, I mean,
that's probably right. Although
sorry, Jeff, go ahead.
I was gonna say I want to pretend like they're just like being like a real tough parent, and it's like, why not A+? But yeah, never mind.
Yeah, I mean, these things happen during the financial reports when they need to explain to investors or find excuses for investors why the number didn't go even higher than it did, or why it didn't go high enough, or whatever it is. So you gotta find fall guys or excuses, and oftentimes it seems to be these Western developed games, which usually are like their riskier projects. So it makes sense that they either are bad at trying to predict how much they're going to sell, or maybe they just don't hit. I don't know.
They just Square Enix does not love their Western studios like they love their real children.
That's right.
It's just bad step parents. All right, I have one more, and it's an answer to the topic. Mike, why don't we get into the topic?
Yes. The topic is, what Nintendo game do you want to see get the HD 2D treatment? If you don't know what we're talking about, this is like what Octopath Traveler pioneered. That Dragon Quest 3 remake is getting it. Apparently it is Live Alive. I'm going to get used to that. Live
Alive. I watched the trailer, and first of all, everyone's making it up because they never really said it one way or the other back then. It's like, so I'm pretty sure even the people who've decided like officially that it's Live Alive are just guessing as well. But yes, Live Alive is how they say it in the trailer. Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of like Live Alive now. But anyways, Live Alive, same thing. So it's high quality 2D sprites that still look like 2D sprites, like characters from like a late Super Nintendo, maybe early PlayStation game. But there's fancy lighting effects, and the backgrounds are done in like this kind of 3D way that still sort of looks 2D, but with depth and geometry to them. Does that sound like a good explanation, Jeff?
Yeah, I think so. And it's got like a lot of extra like lighting effects on top of it to make it look even more bloomy and stuff. It's like if you took all what he just described, kind of made it like a diorama, and then shot it through a really expensive camera, where like a film student was using all the tricks to make it look even cooler. So it's a good effect. Yeah. I'm really happy every time I see it. I'm like, this looks fantastic. Live Alive looks like the best example of it yet. It looks like they have really refined it, and now I'm like, yeah, this is a good topic. I have an answer to it, Mike. So yeah,
exciting. Let's hear it.
I think it's I was like, okay, the first one that popped in my mind was Super Mario RPG, and then I'm like, it's something about those SGI graphics is I think would be really cool with this effect on top of it. So it's not necessarily sprites; it's like those pre-rendered SGI characters. I think that could still be very cool. But then that led me to Donkey Kong Country. I would like to see Donkey Kong Country actually remade with these graphics, a 2D platformer. It would probably be a little distracting, but Donkey Kong Country was also always a little bit distracting in its visuals, where it was like definitely more about like, the pre-rendered effects and not necessarily about like communicating what was happening so much. So it's like I could kind of take style over substance a little bit with that series, and I think that would be a very good use of that tech.
Yeah, and that's just interesting in general because so far we've really just seen this applied to sort of either top-down games like an Octopath Traveler or isometric like Triangle Strategy. So it will be cool to see people maybe doing more of this in sort of a 2D plane. It kind of makes me think of like those like what's that Odin Sphere developer, something like that is almost kind of there, right?
Yeah, you're right. That's very close. Yeah, I can't remember the name of that studio.
Right, but so that
I think it's Ben Driver. Actually, I think is what it is.
I stuck in the top-down path though, and somewhat predictably, I'm saying Star Tropics, but I actually think like this is the best Star Tropics answer yet, though.
Yeah, true.
Would give new life to that game. Like that game was kind of pretty, and it could be even prettier. It could give us an HD 2D game that isn't just another sort of fantasy. Who's done it? It would give them a chance to finally reintroduce that series to the West, and introduce it to Japan for the first time. Like they're not going to invest that much in ever doing anything with Star Tropics again. They're not going to make a new game, but like they should be able to find a team or even just Team Asabi and be like, hey, remake Star Tropics with that. Like that, this isn't a huge game. It's not as big as Live Alive or Dragon Quest 3.
Mm-hmm.
You know, here's a budget for that. I think that would be really cool. So Star Tropics is my answer for this one. Vanilla Wire. Thank you, Turbo Sean. That's the name of the
That's right. Yeah. I went back and looked at the original graphics for Live Alive, and it's like, man, yeah, they're doing a ton to that game. That game did not like even like really look like if you were to strip away all of the HD 2D-ness of it, like they are still making improvements to those sprites and like up-resing them and stuff. So it's like they're doing a lot of work. So it's taking us something like Star Tropics. They could really to kind of take that to the next level with HD 2D.
Right. I mean, you see with Dragon Quest 3 what they're doing with an NES/Famicom game.
Right.
So,
exactly. Yeah.
Right. All right, Jeff. Let's get to these community questions. Did you want to do that super chat one first?
Yeah. Let's see here. So this one is from Uriel Delgado. 2D HD Golden Sun would be cool. Hi, fellas. I agree. That's like something like kind of, it's not like when I was considering as well. There's something about it that already feels a little HD 2D, where it's like
yeah.
Like
it had a lot of depth for a sprite-based game even back then,
and it like had like the rotation and stuff. So like there's like 2.5D stuff happening, and the characters themselves are sort of shimmery because I don't know, the pixels like moved around in the same way like a PlayStation 1 polygon moved around.
Right.
I don't know. There's like a lot of stuff happening in that game. I like the way it looks. I think it's like an assault on the senses, and adding 2D HD to that would be cool.
Yeah, I think that's a neat answer. Benji Bop here says, well, I think the obvious answer is Pokemon. I would totally buy a Gen 1 remake a third time. I would love to actually see Donkey Kong Country get an HD 2D remake where they could bring in some gameplay elements of Tropical Freeze. To me, that has some incredible potential. The best part of Tropical Freeze is that Cranky Kong was like a character, and he basically just gave you the Scrooge McDuck like cane bouncy thing, which is always like one of my favorite 2D platform mechanics. Whenever there's some kind of like downward spike bounce off of enemy things, that's why Shovel Knight's so great. That's always good stuff. Turbo Sean says, playing off of Benji Bob's response, I think the obvious answer is Pokemon, specifically Black and White. Like you guys have brought up recently, Gen 5's remake is inevitable, and I think this is the best way to do those games justice. One of the primary reasons people still love them is the obvious gorgeous pixel art, and I feel that the style would translate to HD 2D way better than it would to simple 3D graphics like in the brilliant Diamond Shining Pro remakes. That's a very good answer, Jeff, especially because
I like that, yeah.
Like you know, Black and White, they did have really good sprite work. So in some ways, like just doing that same treatment that they did to Diamond and Pearl would be a downgrade. And like you really just want to do that again.
I was looking at someone was like saying like a farewell to a Pokemon pixel graphics. They're like it does seem like that era is done. And look at some of the best versions of these games had some of the best pixel art ever, especially for the Pokemon themselves. I'm like, yeah. I would love for them to find a way to keep that stuff going in some way, and this seems like the answer. Like, just do something along these lines.
Mm-hmm. If they never do, I feel like Black and White 2 are gonna like hold this spot as time goes on.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, really, like well-regarded games.
Like kids will go back and be like, which old ones should I play? And people be like, try Black and White. And this is like the best taste of like what these visuals looked like. I think you could still appreciate it, like kind of endlessly, timelessly.
DJ Incoming says, my answer for this is Zelda 2. It's always felt like the black sheep of the 2D Zelda games and has the most potential to be remade.
That's cool.
It's something people care about more. Give it new life so that the only Zelda game people truly have discontent for is Triforce Heroes. That at some point they're going to have to remake Zelda 2.
Yes. They will have to do the Zelda edits that Zelda always gets to Zelda 2 to sort of make more sense for newcomers, and then also just overwork those visuals and modernize them. And there's a bunch of ways they can go with that one. I feel like that one they could almost do like the Cartoon Network style, like animated, where it's like it's just looks like a living cartoon.
Are you thinking that just because there was that Adventure Time game that was essentially a Zelda 2 clone?
Yeah, where I think I always had that in my head, where I'm like, they could just do this with Zelda 2. And
what's it called? Hey, Ice King, why are you stealing our garbage or something like that?
Yes, something like that. Exactly. Yeah, yeah, it is, and it was like a pretty good Zelda 2 clone. But HD 2D would also be fantastic.
Winnie says, keep giving me more genres. Etrian Odyssey, Dungeon Crawler, Turtles in Time, beat 'em up. I'm not actually quite sure what Winnie is saying in this one. I'll be honest.
Fair enough.
But, that is his answer. Courageous Big Basketball says, Super Metroid because it is a good video game that deserves a remake. So, like, I would obviously be very curious in a Super Metroid glow up. But, Jeff, I like Super Metroid so much. Just
I know, I like it the way it is. Yes,
it is the most, like, Super Nintendo looking Super Nintendo game to me, and I like that about it.
Yes, absolutely. We could just let it be. But in this podcast, we love and respect Super Metroid. So maybe for people who disrespect it a little bit, maybe this is what they need to recognize their error of their ways.
I was just watching a video from SNES Drunk, who's a YouTuber I like, and he was talking about like community like mods for like Super Nintendo games, like improvement patches and stuff, and there's like a one for Super Metroid that adds some quality of life stuff, like the maps show you where the doors are, and you hold down one of the shoulder buttons to fire missiles instead of like select to select it. I was like, maybe Turbo Sean would be happy with the game if you played it with this mod. So look into that, Turbo Sean. That maybe it would be nicer. Well, it doesn't count if it's a mod. Nintendo should have to put it themselves. Shut up, Turbo Sean. Alex says Super Mario RPG would probably be the one for me. I haven't ever played it, and its status as a beloved but underutilized entry is up there with Earthbound, I feel. Plus, Square has been the one doing all these HD 2D games anywhere. Like, I mean, if Square came to them and said, hey, we want to do this, and, look what this team is doing with other RPGs, Nintendo, can we do this? Like, would Nintendo say no?
I think Nintendo would probably say yes. I don't know if Square Enix would want to do it for a game that Nintendo seems to own most of.
That's true.
That's probably the issue there. It's like Square Enix is like, we don't really want to do the work for your game. And also, they don't like it because it's like it's fun, and that's not the kind of game that Square Enix makes. So,
oh my god, maybe we'll get a cloud version of it. Turbo Sean is saying that he did play Super Metroid with those mods, and I hate him even more. Just the worst.
He's the worst.
This is interesting. It's there. Pablo Costa says, I want an HD 2D version of Boktai. The sun is in your hand.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and while we're at it, add the garlic breath sensor Kojima envisioned for the game, you cowards. That was the thing. Wow.
Incredible. I gotta see what Boktai looked like. I have like vague memories of it, but it's like
I remember. I can't remember. I mean, it was like Game Boy Advance.
Yeah, totally.
2D,
And that game looked good. It's like it was such a weird idea, but it looked fantastic.
Yeah, that's great. Overhaul 89 says Super Metroid is my number one with a bullet, but since that's already been brought up, I'll say the Capcom Zelda handheld games, Oracle of Seasons and Oracle of Ages. And that'd be pretty cool. If they did do it, though, I expect that they would just do the Link's Awakening thing, but I don't even think they're going to bother remaking the Oracle games, sadly.
He should make a Boktai spiritual successor for phones that uses the light sensor. Yeah, sorry.
That's fine.
It has the use of the light sensor. Like they used to like tell you if you should have your like light on your screen dimmed, and just use that to collect the sunlight. All right, sorry. We can move on.
No, you're fine.
Yeah.
But you think he'll make it a Stranding game though?
Strand game. Yeah,
that's Stranding game. That's not right. That is not right. A Strand game.
Which Nintendo game should be made a Strand game next, everybody? That's next week's topic.
Dr. Sus says, I see a lot of 2D games getting the glow up, but I'd like to see a 3D game like Ocarina of Time or Paper Mario get the treatment. It would be really interesting. That was one of those like big fan games, was that 2D remake of Ocarina of Time. That was one of the ones Nintendo shut down, right?
Yeah, I'm sure they did. Yes, I'm sure they did. I'm like, I wonder if they could like keep it 3D and still apply many of the same visual tricks and like what that would look like. I kind of want like because like I said, a lot of the effects they're using are just sort of the virtual camera effects that you could apply on top of these things.
I mean, that's almost kind of like what like a Demon Turf did.
Yeah, it is a little bit. Yeah, I think there's like more ways to look at these games and kind of still keep them looking 3D without having to demake them. But whatever, this is a good answer.
Yeah. Lost Scene says, "Hey guys, hope your weekend was a good one. I'm still holding hope that Final Fantasy Tactics Advanced Series would be remade or get a sequel in the HD 2D graphics. But from first party Pokemon, first and or second gen would be great too. Yes, I'm looking forward to Triangle Strategy. I'll tell you what, like I am holding out hope for Triangle Strategy. I haven't played the demo yet. Part of me wishes that they did just remake the first Final Fantasy Tactics, because now they're probably not going to for a bit, because they probably just want people to buy Triangle Strategy, right? Like they're not going to rush out or remake a Final Fantasy Tactics when there's this.
Yeah, I guess that does
very
make sense.
similar.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. Yeah.
One Up versus CPU says Earthbound/Mother 1 through 3. Earthbound stands might not want to hear it, but Beginnings is super rough, and Earthbound has its fair share of issues too, like its frame rate. A remake is probably the best chance we get for getting Mother 3 released outside of Japan too. There was something going around last week or so with like a fan rendition of what a Mother 3 remake would look like, and it was all kind of claymation style, and it looked really cool. So actually, like if they remade a Mother game, I kind of hope they go with like that claymation route.
That does somehow capture that brand really well. So yeah, I would like to see that too.
Well, I think there was originally like a pitch for GameCube or essentially for something where they
64
did
DD.
Something where they did like pitch a Mother game that looked like that, and it didn't happen. And this guy like went further with it. It looks really cool. Screaming Man, it says original F-Zero for the SNES deserves the HD 2D treatment. Think about speeding through a bunch of gorgeous remakes of classic tracks such as Mute City and Big Blue. It would add a whole new meaning to Note 7. That would be pretty cool. I would personally rather see a new F-Zero game more in the like GX kind of style, but I would certainly not say no to that.
Same.
Octo says, we'll say Golden Sun, but not just because it deserves it. Golden Sun was an early Game Boy Advance title, and it was kind of developed for the very dark screen. Playing them now, the colors are kind of washed out, so bundling the two games together and a nice collection seems fitting for this cult classic, and it was my first true JRPG. We always get so much love for Golden Sun here. Like, they're gotta do something for it. Even like the next Smash Brothers, they're going to start like digging around for characters. Like I know Isaac's been an assist trophy. Maybe they'll finally be like, all right, Isaac can be in Smash Brothers. At least that. He'll get in before Mike from Star Tropics does anyways. Casual says, this might be recency bias speaking, but I just beaten Aria of Sorrow. I'm going to say one of the Castlevania Game Boy Advance games. Also, I understand that the main focus of the HE2 treatment is the visual lift. There are tons of Game Boy Advance games with tracks that could use a boost and a higher audio quality. Well, yeah, audio quality especially. That was one of the problems with Game Boy Advance.
Right.
P.S. My non-Nintendo alternative would be the original Monkey Island. That's cool. There's actually, man, that'd be a great track for this. Actually, is old 2D adventure games like the old King's Quest games or the Quest for Glory games. I like adventure games a lot. They did remake Monkey Island, and it was like neat, but already I prefer going back to the original version. Like I think the original version says aged better than that remake from 10 years ago already, probably. Velocity Prime 1 says Zelda 2 is my first proposal, but since that's taken, let's say Donkey Kong Country. The look of the SNES game is more than a little wiggy now, and a good spruce up would be great. There are a lot of people agreeing with you with Donkey Kong Country, Jeff. Don't you feel smart?
Yeah, I think it would look really cool with that Silicon graphics style.
I'm guessing I'm the only person who said Star Tropics, though.
Probably.
BG says Paper Mario would be pretty cool, but I really like to see a Mario and Luigi collection of the Game Boy Advance and DS games place into the turn-based combat well. The backdrops could look really great, and the humor and charm could complement the juxtapose the 2D HD style brilliantly, in my opinion. Special shout out to Lost Magic for the DS as well. Is Lost Magic one of those like Sega minigame compilations?
Wait, what's the name?
Lost Magic.
I don't know.
Lost Magic. I like the Game Boy Advance look and graphics of Mario and Luigi. Fine how they are, but I still, 2D HD could look pretty cool for that too. Wildfire Alex says Super Mario World. Enough said. So we keep saying that the next 2D Mario game needs some kind of a visual look or some kind of an aesthetic.
It needs something. 2D. Yeah, I mean,
why not?
I would take HD 2D over New Super Mario Brothers.
Yeah, sure would.
100 times over. Yeah.
Romham says, of course, the only answer is Golden Sun, since the graphics really don't need any update. They still look great, but HD 2D would be a great way to get new interest and not make it a simple port.
Yeah.
The Longest Beer says, it's never going to happen because Capcom killed Breath of Fire real good, but I'd absolutely love an HD 2D of Breath of Fire 2. It was one of my first JRPGs I ever played after Pokemon. It's still my favorite 2D JRPG. Wouldn't say no to Shining Force either. Those are both good answers.
Well, what happened with Breath of Fire? I never played him. I never paid much attention to him.
Yeah.
But I mean, I remember like the ads for him in magazines, and them seeming like a pretty big deal. It's like, you know, the Final Fantasy people care about this a lot.
So 3 and 4 came out for PlayStation. People liked them. Then there was like Dragon Force, something like Dragon Quarter for PlayStation 2, and it was weird and like adventure crawler and not as good. And then they just made a mobile game, like they all were getting, right? But they actually called it Breath of Fire 5. It was just like a free-to-play mobile game, and that made everyone mad, and I think there's just bad feelings now all around.
I bet if they released a new Breath of Fire, a real game, sort of like, you know...
Well,
I don't know.
So they made that Monster Hunter JRPG now, right?
Right. Well, that's what I mean. Like, yeah,
JRPG franchise now. But like, also, like, why not get those people to make a Breath of Fire game?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like that team have a break from but I mean, I guess a break from Monster Hunter is probably not going to happen. So
probably not going to happen, right? The Pick Up a World System isn't the obvious answer to Super Mario RPG. It's kind of obvious. Like, it's not like a perfect fit. Like, so like the most obvious answers are just top-down JRPGs from like the 8-bit and 16-bit era. And Super Mario World is kind of that, but it also has those SGI digitized graphics, so it's a little different. So how you translating that might be weird, but I'm sure they could do it. Nick Turbo says, after seeing how Triangle Strategy works, I would love to see Fire Emblem or Advance Wars in that style. That would be good, especially those like Game Boy Advance Fire Emblem games, or even like the Super Nintendo ones. That could be neat. Jot Matt says, I'd like to see Game Boy games get the treatment. Donkey Kong 94 and Super Mario Land 2, especially. Super Mario Land 2 would be pretty sweet, actually.
Yeah.
Creaky Lake says, imagine Luigi's Mansion. Just think about your flashlight dynamically castling into the HD 2D Castlevania-like environment. Maybe even some haunted garden levels with the moonlight shining on the hedges around you. Is anyone else hot in here right now? I don't think they're going to deviate too hard from Luigi's Mansion 3 with the next Luigi's Mansion, though.
Yeah, probably not.
Nintendo Bro says, Astro Boy Omega Factor is the correct answer, but if it must be a Nintendo-developed game, I'd like to see an HD 2D adaptation of Ice Climbers. For a franchise that has such a great representation as Super Smash Bros., I'd love to see them get an HD 2D release. Are they ever going to do anything else with Ice Climbers, Jeff? That's interesting, huh?
Probably not. I don't think so.
Yeah, even like back when they had a chance to like do something like with like the two screens of the DS or 3DS even, which would have kind of made sense with that like, vertically scrolling game, they still didn't. They just never.
I mean, they tried Kid Icarus and they realized, this is pretty hard to bring some of these franchises back. And
people love that Kid Icarus game. That's one I actually do need to actually play it.
Yeah, people loved it, but it's not like it didn't. Right, it didn't catch on with everybody. Great. But yeah, so it's like, it kind of felt like one of those things. Well, hey, we did the thing and you guys didn't seem to care as much as you said you would care. So we're not going to do the same thing for Ice Climbers.
Hero Select says Capcom won't even port over the Battle Network game, so what is even the point? Give me an HD 2D remake of Ninja Gaiden then, I suppose. Redfall says Golden Sun for sure. Man, Golden Sun is probably the most popular.
I think it's the most popular one, yeah.
Golden Sun for sure. For me, as someone who never had, when I was 11 years old and playing Zelda, suddenly get an eureka moment, Golden Sun was pretty much that Zelda game for me. I still think a full-on high-budget 3D remake is going to work better, as many puzzles in Golden Sun had that big presentation effect, really elevating it to another level in Game Boy Advance. And HD2 remake would also be spectacular. Seriously, anything Golden Sun. Run Rebel Joe says, there are so many great options out there, but to make this timely, I would love a Kirby's Adventure and Kirby and Dreamland double pack in the HD2D style. I think this would be a fantastic way to bring back Adventure Island. Oh, Adventure Island is a good
that'd be Adventure Island's already kind of got like those sprites would automatically pop in HD 2D. But I love this idea of like black and white Game Boy games getting this treatment. Just leave them black and white and then just do all the other tricks. That would be cool.
You know how much I like Kirby's Adventure, which already got remade once for Game Boy Advance, but I'd still be down for another. Pinball Jr. says the original Ninja Gaiden trilogy. It's all I can think about watching the ninja run on rooftops and the Live a Live trailer. Also, Square already has a relationship with Team Ninja since they're making a Final Fantasy game that Mike has to play in less than a month. Do I really only have that much time left to live? God. Edge of 25 is not the first one to say this, but it would have to be Kirby's Adventure. Other than that, any of the Marios. Yeah, Kirby's Adventure would be pretty freaking neat. Gerber says, wow, Gunman. I think everything else has been suggested. Wow, Gunman's not a Nick Turbo says, it seems Raven won't say it, so I will. StarCraft 64 should be remade in HD2D. I mean, strategy games in general would make sense, like Warcraft 2 in that style. That'd be pretty neat.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Gigi64 says, I've been playing a little bit of Warlock for the Game Boy Color, and while it's not great, I think brightening up the sprites might do this RTS some good. That's a pretty neat answer, too.
For a real-time strategy game on the Game Boy Color, it is fantastic for what it was. I liked that game a lot when I played it when it first came out.
Bench JC says, I would like to see any of the Mass Effect games in HD 2D style. I think it would be cool taking a 3D franchise and pulling it in HD 2D. Shit, just realized it's supposed to be Nintendo games. Been a day. Oh, well. That's all right, Bench JC. We will allow it. Jeff, that's it. You want to finish off these super chats?
Yeah. Let me see here. From Space Dovahkiin, I think Square Enix just hates their Western division, talking about the developers that made... basically all the games that disappoint them. So
don't we all hate our Western divisions?
Yeah, I do for sure. Oh yeah, who's out there in our Western division? It's just Dean. Yeah,
yeah.
From
he already took enough of a beating on Twitter.
Yeah, I guess we love our Western division here.
Western division is okay with us.
Yeah. From Phil Spencer's burner account, it's about time someone told Mike the truth. You played Terra's theme on the flute. You playing Terra's theme on the flute was incredible, and I'd love to hear it again when you get a chance.
I got a chance right now. All right, little taste for you. Thank you.
It's beautiful.
It is. I know.
That does it for the super chats, Mike.
All right, guys. Topic next week, and we kind of talked about this with Super Metroid. What is one Nintendo game that should never be remade?
Ooh, okay. Yeah.
You ponder that for a bit. What game is perfect as is?
Just said it.
Yeah, so aside for Super Metroid, obviously, and then we will do that. Jeff, I have been playing Power Slave Exhumed Edition after being shocked to learn last week on one of our shows that it came out without me knowing. I was looking forward so much. I can't believe it crept up like that. I had no idea Night Dive, because they just also released River City Girls 0, and I played through that.
They've got they got 3 or 4 more coming this year, is what MVG said. So yeah, they're gonna be busy.
Power Slave might be the best thing they've ever done. This just rules. This was a first-person shooter that first came out for the Saturn, then also had a port of PlayStation, and there's like an MS-DOS version that's quite a bit different. This version takes kind of like the best aspects of the Saturn and PlayStation versions. And what it is, it's like a Quake-style first-person shooter, but with just the slightest bit of Metroidvania elements. Like, calling it a proto-Metroid Prime might be a little generous, but it's also like kind of true. That's kind of what it is.
It's on that path. I started playing it as well. It's first of all, it runs great and looks great, and I love its aesthetic. But then we're kind of discovering like, oh, there's like stuff happening here with like discovery on this map. Like, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, like like levels in Quake or Doom were always non-linear, like, go get the keys. And there's still like some of that here. You're getting these power things. But it's also, there's a new ability you get. And now if you go back to this place, you can reach this new path to either level or to this new unlockable thing. It's just like, aesthetically, like, that Quake early 3D stuff, and like a lot of stuff, like the torches on the wall are still 2D sprites. And I find that really endearing and just fun. A lot of great options. Like it has like the like that old FPS like wobble thing when you're walking. You can just turn that down so it's not as obnoxious.
Mm-hmm.
By default, it didn't even have a crosshair, but you can add that in and make it as big as you want. So you can even do gyro tilting aim controls on the Switch if you want to.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, which is nice.
I mean, that's the thing about Night Dive. They always do all of the features, all of the support. It just has it all. It is always like, it's done with thought, and it's very obvious when you're playing this.
This is basically like I'm playing the Sega Saturn game I've been hearing so much about that I never knew about back when I had a Sega Saturn, and I wanted to play it, and now I can, and it is actually fantastic. It's just lovely, super fun to play. It's not like, even like Quake 1 could still be pretty punishing. This is relatively lenient. There's pretty generous check markers. There's lots of like health drops and ammo drops and stuff like that. So it's not like a super punishing one. So if like you played Quake 1 or Doom 64 and maybe it was like a bit much for you, I think you'll be fine here. God, it is such like a throwback treat. Like the way when like Ramsey starts talking to you, like that old like video game voice acting thing, and not like bad. Like it's like playing an FMV game. Like, oh yeah, I like this. This is good stuff here. I'm into it. I also love the fact that it is actually named after the Iron Maiden album. That's fantastic. That's
Right.
a fantastic album. But yeah, I'll tell you what, if you like those like 90s shooters, like right before Half-Life came out and changed everything, right? This is like the most progressive of those before they kind of went on that other path for a bit. And then you had like Metroid Prime as maybe the one other offshoots of this idea of where Doom could go.
Yeah. It's great to have an opportunity to go back and play. It's like a game I remember hearing about as well. Never really thought about playing it because I'm like, I don't have a Saturn, and there's a lot of other stuff going on, and I'm playing. We're playing GoldenEye now, so whatever. I'm not gonna pay attention to other shooters. It's awesome that these games are finding new life, and honestly, this one feels like it is so. Like it feels so modern in so many ways that it kind of is reminiscent of like that New Blood publishing label that puts out a lot of like retro style first person shooters.
Right.
It feels like one of those things that they could have released this year. So I'm very into it. It was a good recommendation last week when we started talking about it. You're like, I'm gonna get it. I'm like, okay, I'll get it too. And yeah, I've been playing it a little bit. It's very good. Anything else you've been playing though?
No, that's really it. At least that I can talk about.
Right, so it's that time of year for us. It's like one review after another. So we'll have other stuff to talk about soon. Maybe not on this show. So turn into Games Beat Decides. But we'll have a special episode out tomorrow, which maybe you can guess what it's about. So if anyone's listening to this on Tuesday, on Wednesday, check back on the Games Beat Decides feed or check the YouTube channel, and you'll be able to hear our thoughts on something else coming up real soon. Mike, should we wrap this up? Because I don't have any Nintendo games because I got too much other stuff happening right now.
Yeah, let's wrap this up.
Okay, I'm going to hit the button.
All right. Thank you all so much for listening to Last of the Nintendogs. Yeah, Jeff and I will be back with that special video tomorrow, and then we'll be back again on Friday for Games Beat Decides. You can find me on Twitter at twitter.com/Koto. Check out the 90s Disney podcast at 90sdisney.com. Jeff.
Yeah, I'm Jeff Grubb on Twitter. I got a Grubb Snacks coming up this week on Thursday where I'll be talking a little bit about some of the pricing that might be happening with Spartacus on PlayStation and stuff like that. Got a few other things I'll be talking about at that point as well. It should be a good show, so tune into that. We got Games Beat Decides on Friday. Be there for that. I don't know. I feel like there was some other stuff we're going to do. I don't know. Join the Discord. Discord.gg/Game Master.
We're going to do another Jeopardy thing soon.
We're going to be doing another Jeopardy thing very soon. We're going to get Rachel Kaiser in there to come hang out with us and be our third for that episode. So look out for that. Bye, everybody.
Bye.